Guys, welcome back to the channel Football Predictions and High Value Odds, and today I'm going to be giving out picks for Tuesday and Wednesday. So for the whole Champions League, if you're a newcomer here, we bet on goals and single games. Now, before we get into the picks, I'd like to discuss the picks that we had in the previous video. Let's start off with Utrecht and Ajax. We had Ajax over 1.5, and guys, this is why you don't bet on the outcome of games. This is a perfect example. Ajax managed to lose that game in the end 4-3, while we took over 1.5. The odds were about the same. And yeah, the game was done and dusted in the beginning of the second half when Ajax scored the 2 goals. Then we had the Girona-Almeria game. Actually, coming back to ELVIZO on Sunday, there were other games that I saw you guys were taking. Excelsior's Volley and Heracles 20. It was a good day overall for the Dutch League. Both of those games also played over 2 goals, and they were both BTTS. So a lot of you must have made money on those games. Now for the second game, we had Girona against Almeria. It did help that Almeria scored the 2 early goals. They took 2-0 lead in the first 25 minutes, but then the game was done and dusted. By the first half, Girona scored 3 goals. They won that game 5-2, and they're continuing their dominance at home. Then we went to the Bundesliga, which was not great. Great week for Bundesliga overall. Every single game won BTTS except the Fridays one. Dortmund, Werder, that finished 1-0. And the only team that didn't manage to score on the weekend was, of course, our favorite Union Berlin. But we had Köln, Borussia, and it finished 3-1. Borussia didn't manage to score 1 more goal. They also had a red card, and yeah, that was unfortunate. The other game I should have taken was Heidenheim, Augsburg. It would have went through because it finished 2-5. I missed that one out. So then we had Atalanta against Genoa. The goal came in 95th minute. We're a bit lucky. We had Atalanta over 1.5, but we'll take the luck. Then for the last game, we had Barcelona against Athletic Bilbao. Pretty annoying. It finished 1-0. That's basically the worst combination that we could get when we bet on over 1.5 goals. So Barcelona won that game 1-0, and they got the 3 points, which is huge because Real Madrid managed to lose points against Sevilla. So we went 3-4-2. We still have 3 more games today, so you can check that video out for the Monday's picks. So let's start off with Group A, the most entertaining group so far in the Champions League. Every single team has at least 3 goals in that group. Galatasaray against Bayern. Now this is a huge game for Galatasaray because they are playing home and they need to get points here because they will be playing afterwards in the Munich in back-to-back games. They'll probably get 0 points there, and considering Man United will probably get about 4 to 6 points against Copenhagen, Galatasaray at least need to provide a draw here. And with the way they have been playing at home, why not? I mean, they have been scoring in every single game at home. I can't even define the stat, whereas the last time they didn't score at home. So guys, if you can check that out and let me know, please. And Bayern is Bayern this year. I mean, they're playing really good offensively, but in defense they concede. We've seen it this week against Mainz. They also conceded against Man United 3 goals, also against Copenhagen, the game that we had BTTS for odds over 2. And I could see it also happening in this one. I think the game is crucial for Galatasaray, and I'm going to be riding with them, but I'm going to be taking BTTS. I also think Bayern is going to be scoring. This is the earlier game for all the Champions League games, so our first pick is going to be Galatasaray Bayern, BTTS at odds 160. Now, we stay in the same group, Man United against Copenhagen. As I said, Man United will probably need to get at least 4 to 6 points, probably 6 points against Copenhagen if they want to have a chance to qualify. That defeat against Galatasaray in the end really hurt them, might be the most crucial game when it's all said and done in the group. And Man United have conceded in 5 out of the 7 games that they played at home, and why not? They will concede maybe also against Copenhagen, who managed to score against Bayern and Galatasaray. Now, I will not be taking this game. If you're going to be maybe playing a huge ACA, maybe throw in a Copenhagen goal or BTTS at odds 190, but as a single game, I will not be risking it. So I'm leaving this game out. Now let's move on to Group D, a game between Benfica and Sociedad. Now Benfica is one of the 3 teams who didn't manage to score in the group league stage still. The other 2 teams are Milan and Dortmund. And this is it for Benfica. If they don't get a positive result against Sociedad at their home game, I think they're going to be out of the group. This game is really for the second place. I think Inter is going to get at least 4 to 6 points against Salzburg. But Benfica, they're a decent team at home. I think Sociedad's game plan is going to be stay back, they're solid defensively, and then get them on counter-attack, which would be perfect for us. And I hope football gods don't punish me for that, because for the first time this year, I'm going to be going against my favorite team in betting and taking against them that Benfica will be scoring this game. At first, I thought to take the over 1.5. Odds are 212. It's a bit risky, but it's a great bet still, over 1.5 on Benfica. But if you have the bet of over 1, I suggest you take it because that's what I'm going to be riding with. The odds are currently 148 on Benfica. Last night they were at 150, so they're dropping down a bit, so that means people are putting money on it. But guys, maybe go with the over 0.5. I really think Benfica is going to be scoring this game, and as I said, this is a must-win game for them. So this is going to be our second pick, Benfica over 1 goal against Sociedad. Now the other game in the group is Inter against Salzburg. Now this will not be an easy game for Inter. The bookies are saying it will be because they're giving really low odds. Even on over 1.5, it's not worth taking. But every time Inter this year is supposed to have an easy game, they don't. They played against Sassuolo at home, they lost that game. Then against Bologna, they managed to concede 2 goals, they drew that game. And this could be a dangerous game. I mean, Salzburg is proven to score away. They did it against Benfica. So odds are currently 175 on Salzburg to score. And if you're playing maybe a long Aka, maybe you can throw this game in. I will not be taking this game, however. Now we move on, Sevilla against Arsenal. This group was supposed to be a cakewalk for Arsenal, but then they lost to Lens 2-1. We actually had that game, Arsenal over 1.5, and now they're meeting a dangerous home side in Sevilla. They proved it to us again this weekend. I'm sure a lot of money line was going on Real Madrid and also Real Madrid over 1.5. The game ended 1-1, and I hate betting on Sevilla games, but guys, Arsenal haven't won in 2 away games. I don't think it's going to be 3. The danger here, of course, if Arsenal wins 0-1, because I am going to be taking over 1.5 on Arsenal. I'm going to do it again. The odds are currently 180. I'm expecting Arsenal to win this game, just as a danger if they're going to be scoring over 1 goal or not. I would have taken over 1 goal specifically, but the odds are way too low for that. But I'm confident in Arsenal. Now the other game in this group is Lens against PSV. PSV is having a really disappointing start to the Champions League campaign. I expected much more for them, especially with the way they're doing in the Dutch division. They're first, they're 9 for 9, they won every single game. And if you look at their away streak in the Dutch division, they won 3 games in a row, exactly 0-4. I think they're a much better team than Lens. And I'm not expecting Lens to put up the same performance they did against Arsenal. I'm expecting PSV to finally get their 3 points. Of course, I'm going to be playing it safe. I'm not going to be taking PSV over 1.5, but I am going to be taking PSV over 1. The odds are currently 153. And as I said, this game is huge for PSV. I'm riding with them. Now we move on to the Wednesday's games. The group of death, Newcastle against Dortmund. Newcastle so far has proven all the haters wrong, including me. I didn't expect for them to start the Champions League campaign that well. They destroyed PSG 4-1, even though PSG managed to score because Newcastle was riding that crazy streak of not conceding at home. But yeah, Newcastle so far in the last 2 games at home, they managed to score 4 goals exactly. Can they go 3 games of completely dominating? I don't think so, because this game is it for Dortmund. If they don't provide a positive result, they're out of the group. And that's why I see Dortmund scoring in this game, because first of all, they didn't score yet in the first 2 games. And also I think this game is going to be BTTS. Odds are currently 167. I'm not going to be taking this game. However, this is just a suggestion. Also, guys, what do you think is going to happen in this game between Newcastle and Dortmund? But I'm avoiding this game, but my suggestion is BTTS. Now, to stay in the same group, PSG against Milan. PSG are back on track after having the horrible defeat against Newcastle. They managed to beat Strasbourg and Rennes by scoring 3 goals. And Milan is not playing well. The last 3 games, they just lost to Juventus yesterday. Of course, they got a red card, but they lost at home 0-1. Then they didn't have a good performance against Genoa, 0-1 again, but it was a disappointing performance. And remember, Giroud was in goal that game in the last few minutes. And then they played 0-0 against Dortmund. So they're not scoring a lot, they're not conceding a lot, but they will be conceding against PSG. I expect PSG to bounce back from the horrible defeat they had against Newcastle. I'm going to be riding with PSG over 1.5. Against Milan, the odds are currently 172. Now, we move on to Group E, Celtic against Atletico. I've never seen Atletico play. They have been playing in over a decade. So impressive. I mean, we had them against Celta to score over 1.5 for odds 212. They managed, it's already 6 consecutive games where they scored 2 or more goals. And they're playing a weak Celtic side, probably one of the worst teams in the Champions League campaign. No disrespect though. But they did play well against Lazio. They managed to lose that game on the 95th minute, but I don't think they're going to put up a good performance against Atletico. I see Atletico again continuing with their streak, and that's why I'm going to be taking over 1.5. Odds are currently at 190. So that's going to be our third pick For Wednesday, we stay in the same group, Feyenoord against Lazio. Lazio are lucky to be in this situation, having 4 points, because they did draw against Atletico in the last minute, as I said, with the goal with the goalkeeper. Then they scored in the 95th minute also with Pedro, to Celtic. And now they're playing Feyenoord, and Feyenoord is a different animal at home. I think whoever wins this game is going to finish second in the group, so this is huge. I think Lazio will finally manage to lose a game in the Champions League. And yeah, I'm going to be taking Feyenoord over 1.5. Odds are currently 177. Guys, this is it for me for the Champions League. I'll be back with the Europa League and Conference League video on Wednesday. I'll release it. And yeah, guys, comment down below the games that you're going to be taking for the Champions League, especially the ones that I didn't cover on this video. I didn't go through all the games, only through the games that I'm taking, and also a few suggestions from the same groups. And most importantly, guys, stay healthy, bet responsibly, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.